Hey everybody. Haven't done this for a while. Just thought I would go live to see who's on. Turn that light on. There we go. That's a little bit better. How's everyone doing tonight? I gotta tell you, it's been hours of dyskinesia. I cannot seriously sleep tonight. It has just been awful. So I thought, oh, I'll come on, see who's on this time of the night, and just put a live on and just talk about what's on my mind. And I'm pretty sure what's been keeping me awake is my stepfather died a few days ago, and it's been a lot of emotion. You know, my mom was with him for a long time, and him passing away ever so suddenly has just been really, it just kind of shook my world, and it's been really hard to deal with. Like, it just got me thinking about grief and life. You know, grief seems to be such a common thing, and we all experience it in different ways. And yeah, I know the bedroom doesn't look that great. It's not a great backdrop for a live, especially on YouTube, but I didn't know how to put a fake background in here yet. So I'll have to figure that out. You know, I can do a lot better than that, but I just thought I'd see how you guys are doing. What do you guys think? Do you think grief when somebody passes away is similar to what we go through when we get diagnosed with Parkinson's? You know, because we lose certain things about ourselves through Parkinson's along the way. But when somebody leaves us in this world, you know, we do experience grief, you know, at different levels. Of course, I wasn't super close to my stepfather, but you know, I didn't not like the guy. You know, he was they were together a long time, so I'm not even sure how many years, 20, 30? Yeah, definitely a while. You know, we had some good talks when I went over there. He was always friendly to my wife and kids, and yeah, nothing really bad to say about him. But it was just so sudden. It kind of shook me. I mean, another thing that shook me lately is I went viral on TikTok, and that's, if you're wondering why I haven't been around lately, it's just, that kind of rocked my world as well. Like, I had a video on TikTok reach 6 million views. 6 million views. I don't even have that many views on YouTube. It's just, I don't know. I just got writer's block or something. Like, it was hard to concentrate. It was hard to create any content. It was hard to write scripts. My mind just kind of turned to mush, and I was like, oh my God, the news trucks are going to show up and people are going to stalk me online, and none of that happened. And I'm really happy about that. I'm really grateful for that. My expectations about what going viral is were all wrong. And so my mind is getting clear. I've got a script ready. I've just got to film it. I've just got to record it and edit it, and I can post it. I'm really excited to get back into publishing on YouTube. I've missed it so much. I've missed you guys. I've missed talking to you. I've missed reading your comments, and I've missed thinking about you guys when I'm making scripts and videos. Yeah, so I've got a whole list, probably like of a dozen videos I wrote down yesterday, and I want to start making them. I just got to get past this one Just get this one video done, and then it'll all come together, and things will start rolling along again. I discovered that I don't like TikTok that much. It's a strange world over there. I discovered that I like YouTube much better. It's a much, I don't know how to describe it, a much cleaner environment, a much healthier environment. I love my Google safe space. I like YouTube because it's organized and everything's in order and they take care of you, the creator, very much. On TikTok, I felt that they didn't really do that. It's just a hodgepodge, a little bit of a mess over there, and it's driven all by human emotion. And definitely not for me. I like YouTube much better. So, what do you guys like? Obviously you're on YouTube, but do you watch TikTok at all? There's a large crowd over there of young onset Parkinson's disease people. And I'm still going to post like short videos there once in a while, but I am going to stick with YouTube. I've just been over here too long to leave. It's been 8 years, and I really love the people over here, and I really enjoy making connections. Yeah, so I'm going to stick around over here. So tonight I thought we'd just talk about grief a little bit, and just to help me a little bit and anybody else struggling out there with grief, I thought we would just talk a little bit about the 7 stages of grief and how they might affect us at different points in our journeys. Just because I think we all go through them at different levels. I think grief is the one thing that's common to everybody. Right, we've all experienced it. We've all lost someone that we're close to. We've all suffered. Anybody watching this channel has probably suffered from a chronic illness at some point, or they have a loved one. So I think it's the great leveler. I think it's something we all experience. It's something we all go through, and it's something we really can't avoid. So the first stage of grief is shock and disbelief. Yes, I've been through a lot of shock. Yeah, I've been through a lot of shock. My stepfather was just like, what? My sister called me to say, oh, you got it? I'm like, what are you talking about? He wasn't very old. I think like 73. Not very old person at all. I just couldn't believe it. Very shocking. And, it's definitely similar to when I got diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. It was incredibly shocking. It was just like, the floor opened and swallowed me inside. Because the neurologist kept saying, oh, Parkinsonism. I'm like, stop saying that. What are you talking about? I just couldn't believe it was happening. Okay, and the second stage is denial. And they describe denial as a defense mechanism to avoid the full reality of the situation. And I think that's because if we don't have that denial there and try and absorb the full reality of our new life situation, it is just overwhelming and can burn us out really quickly. So I think that denial is good there for a while, but eventually, once the shock and disbelief kind of wear off a little bit, I think we have to deal with that denial. And I see that denial as like sitting on the beach with everybody else, but then, remember that earthquake we had just a week or so ago in Russia, that really 8.8 earthquake? Just imagine you're sitting on the beach and suddenly the water just starts going out into the ocean. And other people are picking up on it. They're like, oh my God, tsunami's coming, run away. And you're just like, what's going on? Why is everyone freaking out? I think denial is a lot like that. Why are people freaking out? Why are they running away from the tsunami? And why can't we figure it out? It's because of the denial that we're experiencing. and then the denial. And the 7 stages of grief aren't meant to be like in order. I think we bounce back and forth between different ones as we need to. Just, we're all a little bit different. We're all at different journeys, and it's going to affect us all differently. But I think we all experience anger, and anger at oneself, others, or even the person lost. It's like, why me? Why did this happen? It can be irrational or directed at institutions, fate, or God. And yeah, why me? That's a really good question. And anger is something I've definitely experienced and felt with my Parkinson's diagnosis. And I get very angry about it sometimes. Very angry. And sometimes it's hard to control that anger because it's a part of you. It's something that really doesn't go away. And it's something I need to be careful with, because if I'm not careful with my anger, then I'll tend to take it out on my wife, Haley. And that's probably not the best thing to do, is to take it out on the person who's trying to help me and care. She does a lot of caretaking and caregiving for me. And me being angry at her for my own illness doesn't make sense. But when we don't have someone to place the anger, I believe that it's a real possibility that we will take it out on those closest to us. And I definitely don't recommend it. It never turns out well for me. But I've done it, and I do it, and I'll probably do it again, but I don't mean to. It's just one of those odd things. Okay, the next stage of grief is bargaining. And this one's always, I find this one always a little confusing. Like, who are we bargaining with? I guess we could say we're bargaining with God or with ourselves, or just trying to change the past a little bit. It's attempting to regain control through negotiation. If only I had done this, or I'll do anything to fix this. So I guess we're playing the what if game. What if I had called that person, the night before that they died, then this loss wouldn't be so bad. Or if I had only gone to visit them, that wouldn't happen. Or if I had seen my husband or my wife's or my family members' symptoms a little bit better, if I had paid attention to their symptoms, I could have helped them sooner, and this wouldn't have happened. I think that's a common one. I know when my son passed away, I was always like, and I still do it sometimes. I play the circle conversation. Oh, I wish I had called him sooner, or I should have seen the symptoms sooner. It's a conversation we can never win, I've discovered. Bargaining just seems to lead to nowhere but locked doors and closed windows, and that's really frustrating. Okay, the next stage of grief is depression. And I think I bounce back between anger and depression a little bit more. It's somewhere I bounce back and forth with, because deep sadness, withdrawal, hopelessness, loss of interest in daily life can feel like a heavy, immobilizing fog. Yeah, I think that describes me quite a bit. And, then I'll be like, the next day I'm depressed about it. And then I'll bounce back to anger. Yeah, so, with my Parkinson's, I take an antidepressant every morning when I wake up. And I find that the one is enough, but I still do have problems with depression. Yeah, loss of interest in daily life. It's just so hard to fight against the apathy, and and when you don't have a lot of energy, it's just so hard to deal with. Okay, the next one would be testing, searching for realistic solutions, beginning to problem solve and adjust to life changes. rebuilding slowly, experimenting with what might help. Yeah, it's like testing the waters. It's when we're putting that first foot into the swimming pool and we're just seeing, oh, how warm is it or how cold is it? Or we're at the lake or the ocean and it's just, okay, what is the water like out there? And we're just seeing if, if we can handle our new reality. And we're back at the beach and the water's like being sucked out to the tsunami. But now it's like, okay, there's danger. I suspect danger here. So it's almost like a rebirth. Like we're coming back to the world. We're coming back alive, and we're almost ready to start living again. And that's a fun place to be. That is a fun place to be. Especially when you've been through so much crap and stuff in life, and you're like, okay, let's do this one more time. Let's feel better and get on with life. Because there's a lot of things that we're going to miss out there if we don't. And that's the real loss. And then there's acceptance, coming to terms with the reality of the loss. And it doesn't mean that we're okay with it. It just means that we found a way to live amongst the pain and the suffering and the grief, because I've discovered, I still miss friends that died a long time ago. They've never really seemed to have left my mind altogether. I had a friend when I was growing up. Her name was Danielle, and she made a big impact on my life. And I still think about her. I don't know, once or twice a month. I still miss her. And I had another friend die when I was very young. Yeah, very, very young. And I still miss him. I often think about, well, what if we had grown up together? What would it have been like? And those are good thoughts. But yeah, I still mourn people I lost. Oh, I still mourn people I've lost in the past. Yeah, so if you just logged in recently, we're just talking about the 7 stages of grief. And that's kind of one of the reasons I'm up tonight, just having trouble sleeping. And I lost my stepfather a few days ago, and it's just rocked my world a little bit. And just having trouble getting back into the swing of things that I really, really want to. So I thought I'd just go on live and just talk about what's on my mind and just see if you guys are feeling like there's anything about grief that you want to talk about. Leave a comment, ask a question. I'm here for you. I'm not a professional, but I love to chat. I love to talk about all things Parkinson's all the time. If you check my channel, you will find that out for sure. Yeah, I'm always I'm always researching something new or looking into a new treatment. And one thing I just started on August the 1st that I've been journaling that I'm looking forward to sharing with you guys soon. Once I get through this enormous list of videos that I made is vitamin B1 therapy, high dose B1 therapy for Parkinson's. Yeah, I started that August the 1st. It's August the 10th today. Wow, is it the 10th already? Oh my goodness. Where's this month going? Yeah, so I think I haven't published a video for like almost a month now. And yeah, I'm starting to feel really guilty. But yeah, I started on the vitamin B1 therapy about 10 days ago, because it was August the 1st. I remember it. I did it at the beginning of a month so I could remember it a little bit better. I'm journaling what I'm experiencing every day. Right now, I'm experiencing what's called the paradoxical reaction of vitamin B1 therapy. So I guess what happens to a lot of people, and it's happened to me, is that you'll start it for the first week, and then like a week later, all of a sudden your symptoms start getting worse. You were getting better, but suddenly you drift off and you get worse. You get worse off than you were when you started the therapy, and that's what's happened to me. Definitely, I've been crawling a lot more the last couple of days, I've noticed, which I don't enjoy, but it's really good for my upper body strength. So what do you do? So yeah, so I'm definitely experiencing the paradoxical reaction. My symptoms are getting worse, and it lasts for about a week, usually a week to 10 days. And after that, it should be smooth sailing. And I've learned a lot about looking into it. And I've been fortunate enough to work with a independent Parkinson's researcher for the last year or so, and he's helped prepare me to get on the vitamin B1 therapy. And it's something I wouldn't recommend that you just jump on board. I would do some research or wait for my first video, because there's a lot to think about to make it successful, and there's a lot that you potentially might have to do to get yourself ready to experience it. Just because it's, if you've been following me, you know that I'm on a fully plant-based diet. I've given up gluten. I don't have any fluoride products that I use in my mouth or anywhere else because it's a neurotoxin. I try and exercise every day. And there's a whole host of things I do. And that has been all to prep me for getting on the thiamine, which seems to be working. And I did try it a few years ago, but it did not work that well. It just made my anxiety worse and worse and worse and worse. And eventually I'm like, I gotta get off these things and chuck them in the garbage because they are like poison. But that was because I was eating the gluten, I was eating meat. And okay, yeah, there's the thing I want to mention. The thiamine is very similar to your L-Dopa medication. So you got to treat it very similar to that. That's the one big thing. You got to keep protein away from it because protein will interfere from it. Like, for example, I wake up at 6 a.m. and then I take my pills at that time. And then at 7 a.m. I have my breakfast, which is usually oatmeal, so it's a lot of protein. And then now at 8:30, I take my thiamine. And then again at 9:45, I take my next pills, my next L-Dopa pills. So yeah, it's all crunched in there together, and there's just enough time in each window to get done what I need to get done. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of getting ready for, and it takes a bit of organization and just really rethinking your pill schedule and your life and everything. So yeah, I don't recommend just hopping on board. I recommend doing some research and making sure you're ready for the commitment, because it is a big one. But then if you look out there on the results that people have had for the high dose B1 therapy, it is really substantial and really encouraging, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. Yeah, I had some really good results the first week I was on it. Some really good results. One was I went hiking with my son-in-law, and car rides have been really hard to deal with lately. Like when we drive somewhere, sometimes it takes me like an hour, hour and a half just to recover from the car ride. But the last time we went out hiking, it took 10 minutes to recover from the car ride. And this was before the paradoxical reaction started. And yeah, I went for some car rides today, and it was just awful. It was just torture. I never did recover. But the paradoxical reaction should only last for a few more days. So any questions, thoughts, or comments at this time? Anything you wanted to mention or bring up? I'm happy to talk about a couple more things. I'm just seeing if you've got any questions, comments. Okay, so one thing I'm really excited about coming up is, through my viral video, I made some really interesting contacts. And one of them was a Canadian company up here in Canada. I think they were, oh my goodness, I haven't thought about that for a little while. Ori Technologies. Yeah, they're called Ori Technologies. And it's going to be like an AI health app / wristband watch that you can wear. And it's going to help with so many different things, and I'm really excited about it. So I'm going to get the CEO of that company set up for an interview. And the really interesting thing about this is they're not overcharging for their technology. This guy wants to make it cheap. Okay, cheap always has bad connotations. He wants to make it high quality but affordable for everyone. So the price is going to be around like $200 or $300 to buy this wristband slash app, but it's so much more. And that is just really surprising for me because often these things go on sale for like $3,000 to $5,000 American, similar products. And this is just going to be around like 200 to 400 Canadian, and then you're in. It's just amazing. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. I'm really encouraged by it. I think this is one of the best contacts I made out of the viral video, and I'm really excited about it. Okay, yeah, what else? Another thing I'm really looking forward to is I haven't had a chance yet, but I put a few videos out before I went incognito, and one of them was an interview with Jessica from the Turn2 app, an AI Parkinson's researcher. And I use this now for when I make videos. And they've done a big upgrade, and I haven't had a chance to check out the upgrade. But if you do, check it out. Apparently it's quite a bit better, and I'll be looking to check it out in the next few days. And I'm thinking I might do some more lives. This is kind of a good way to decompress in the evening and just chat. So yeah, I might do more of these. It's been really good. Okay, so what else is going on? Yeah, we're doing I've managed to find someone to help me with the website, lifewithparkinsons.ca. And we've been turning videos into blogs on there, which I think is really good because not everyone likes to watch YouTube. Some people like to get their information through reading articles online. So we've been working on lifewithparkinsons.ca. Everything's being fixed. It's actually a usable website. It's being bumped up in rank on Google and Bing. Yeah, if you check it out, let me know what you think. Read some of the blogs. I think you will really enjoy them. Yeah, and if you're just logging on now, we've been talking about the 7 stages of grief. I lost my stepfather a few days ago, and it was all very sudden and very, very earth-shattering. But yeah, how about we run through them just one more time for people that missed it. And if you have any thoughts, comments, or questions, fire away. Fire away. So the first stage of grief is shock and disbelief. And that's definitely what I experienced. When I heard my stepfather pass away, I was like, oh my goodness. And I found over time that grief is very similar to like a Parkinson's diagnosis or another chronic illnesses because it's just so surprising and so shocking. So we do have that shock and disbelief and surprise. It's just like, what the heck happened? And then there's denial. Right? We deny the situation. This can't be happening. And denial is like our protective shield. Because if the full impact of our situation were all to be absorbed at once, I think we might go a little bit crazy. And then after that, we experience anger at time to time. Anger at our diagnosis, anger at the person, anger at whatever we can blame it on. And that's the problem with some things in life is that what do we blame our major problems on? And it's just so hard to. It's when we get diagnosed with Parkinson's, it's like, where do we put the anger? And that's always been the question for me. And sometimes I'll put it on my wife Haley, and I shouldn't. But it's just never. There never seems to be a logical spot. Like sometimes we might blame God or someone else, or fate or karma. I got Parkinson's because I did 10 things wrong a few weeks ago. It just doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I try not to put it on Haley because that is just not fair. And then there's bargaining. If only I had done this, or only if I had done that. It becomes a circular conversation, like circular reasoning. I'll do anything to fix this. It often involves guilt and what ifs. What if I had been a better husband? What if I had been a better caretaker? What if I had been a better father or husband? Those things don't necessarily impact why we get Parkinson's. And then there's depression, deep sadness, withdrawal, hopelessness, loss of interest in daily life can feel like a heavy, immobilizing fog. Yeah, and I think the ones I swing back and forth a lot between are anger and depression. Yeah, I experience anger from time to time just because, now that I'm 8 years into my diagnosis, it doesn't seem like a lot. Because the other day, a couple of days ago, I met someone who was diagnosed like 34 years ago. This person's had Parkinson's for 34 years. They were diagnosed when they were like 24 or something. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, how do you do it? And he's like, well, I've had 2 miracles along the way. He's like, I'm really ready for a third one. So he had success with deep brain stimulation, but then it wore off, as it usually does, like 5 to 7 years. And then he had like I can't remember which pump he said, let's just say the Duopa pump, and that worked for a while. And now he's hoping for another miracle. And he really needs it because he's unfortunately getting worse. But really, 34 years, and he's a happy guy, friendly. Had a great chat with him. But I was just like, wow, you've got like nerves of steel. You're just to keep getting up every day and fight against that. 34 years of Parkinson's. I'm just so impressed, especially 34 years being on L-Dopa. I mean, the L-Dopa medication sometimes is not very nice. Okay, and the next stage of grief would be testing, searching for realistic solutions, beginning to problem solve and adjust to life changes, rebuilding slowly, experimenting with what might help. Yeah, and I think a lot of that has to do with the human spirit, right? Things get us down for a while, and then I think a lot of us get bored with being on the couch. I know I do. I can only be on the couch or in the bed for so long, and I was just like, I gotta get up. I gotta do something. I can't lay here. Life just won't let me. My conscience won't let me. I have to get up. I have to get going. I just don't have a choice. And then there's acceptance. When we just start living again, we live with the loss. We learn how to adjust to that loss being with us every day, right? People we've missed, grandparents, parents, brothers, sisters, the life that we lost when we got diagnosed with Parkinson's or another chronic illness. We learn to live with that loss. It doesn't mean it goes away. It doesn't mean it goes to the back of our mind. There's still people I lost as a child that I think about. My friend Danielle, my friend Benjamin. I think about them probably once or twice a month at least. They're never really gone. And my son, I think about him every day. And I think an important thing to remember is grief is not linear. We might bounce back and forth between different stages of grief, or skip stages or revisit them over time. Yeah, and I revisit a lot of them. Yeah, it just never seems to go away. Okay, that is the 7 stages of grief. And one thing I've learned over the last month, just doing more research and just talking to people, because I was getting like a lot of emails and a lot of messages to go through. I haven't even gone through all of them yet. But one thing I learned a lot about is there are a lot more differences between young onset Parkinson's disease and elder Parkinson's disease than I thought there were. It's like they're not even the same illness. I know they're both classified as Parkinson's disease, but the more I'm exposed to the differences and the more people I meet and talk to about it, I really feel that young onset shouldn't be called Parkinson's disease. I really don't, and this is my own personal opinion. I'm not a researcher, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a person with YOPD who just thinks about these things because I have so much time. Right? I'm retired, and I tell people now that my vacation time resets every Sunday. So every Sunday I get another week off. and I have time to lay in bed, too much time actually, to think about these things. And I guess the first thing I think about is the amount of medication it takes to treat young onset Parkinson's disease. Like, I don't think L-Dopa is the best medication for it because it causes so much dyskinesia. I think they need to adjust it or make another strain of L-Dopa for young onset Parkinson's disease because the amount of medication it takes to manage it. And I've discovered this more and more. Like, most people I talk to are around 8 to 10 years are taking more than 2,000 milligrams a day. And that's where I'm at now. I'm up over 2,000 milligrams. I'm trying to get it back down, but my repetitive knee injuries just won't go away. My left knee is all better, but my right knee just won't finish healing. And I've left it healing. Instead of doing like 6 or 8 kilometers a day, I'm down to like 2. And it just won't fix itself. I was down to like 1,750 milligrams a day at the height of my walking program, but now I've drifted back up to like 2,300 milligrams. So I really want to get back down into that 2,000 mark again. And this is my big beef with the L-Dopa. I don't think it's a good medication for young onset Parkinson's disease people, just because of all the people I've met. People with elder Parkinson's disease just don't seem to need as much medication. So I think it's a really different disease. I don't think they should be classified as the same and receive the same treatment standard because it's causing all these unnecessary deep brain stimulations to happen. And these are just my personal opinions, my personal rants. Take it with a grain of salt. But this is just what I'm seeing. Okay, the biggest example I can give you is the leader of my local support group here in Peachland, where I live in West Kelowna, but I attend the Peachland support group because West Kelowna doesn't have one anymore. But my friend who leads the support group drives in once a month to pick me up and take me to support group, and he's like 83 years old, and he's had Parkinson's for 16 years. And he takes like 100 or 200 milligrams a day of L-Dopa. Now, meanwhile, right now I'm up at 2,400 milligrams as YOPD, and I was diagnosed 8 years ago, and I can't drive anymore. Like, why are we getting the same medication? It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Okay, another big difference I've noticed from YOPD and elder Parkinson's. Okay, don't go away. I gotta get my water. I'll be right back. I'm talking a lot, which I don't mind. Please drink of water. The other big difference, that's better, I've seen, and it seems to be universal for everyone I talk to, and let's say like 90% of the people agree, because there is always someone with a different strain of YOPD. The next big difference is that the OFF symptoms are much more severe with young onset Parkinson's disease than they are with elder Parkinson's disease. So yeah, when I go off with YOPD, which I'm off, I'm not off right now, I'm having dyskinesia, and this has been going on for like 5 hours now. It is just not stopping today. It is just like a roller coaster. It will not stop. And I've done everything I can. I've used my tuning forks. I've used my bone induction speaker. You probably saw that video, how I stopped my dyskinesia. And I can only use it for about an hour. And then the sensation of I'm going to black out using it comes on. Yeah, so I've already used it for an hour. And it stops the dyskinesia. But as soon as I turn the speaker off, the dyskinesia comes back again. So it's just driving me nuts today. So yeah, so our off symptoms are more severe. We get more freezing of gait than people with elder Parkinson's get, like people diagnosed, 60 or 70 years old. I just don't have a good term for calling it regular. I guess regular Parkinson's would fit, but I'm just going to use elder PD. And maybe I'll coin a new term in the dictionary. Who knows? But yeah, YOPD off symptoms are more severe. There's more chance of falling. There's more chance of getting stuck in the corner. There's more chance of not being able to get out of your car. And that's a big one, not being able to get out of a car after a car ride. And people with young onset Parkinson's disease lose the ability to drive much sooner than people with elder PD. And yes, see, the list of differences just carries on. And dyskinesia is much more severe with people in the YOPD group. Like some people with elder Parkinson's disease might never experience it just because their medication is so low. So yeah, I think there needs to be a reclassification and adjustment of the L-DOPA to make it more suitable for young onset Parkinson's disease. There needs to be two classes of medication. So they need to put something in the L-DOPA to make it more tolerable, more dyskinetic, resistant for the young onset Parkinson's disease crowd, which unfortunately is the one that's growing the fastest. So what do you think? Do you disagree? Do you agree? Do you have any thoughts on that? Shoot me a comment. Okay, last thing I want to talk about tonight, and I'm going to wrap this up at about when it hits an hour, because I think I'm almost ready to go to sleep, and it's, oh my goodness, 5 to 1 in the morning. Oh, I don't know why this grief is just so hard to deal with sometimes. Okay, last topic. Yeah, 3 things I've learned about. No, I don't want to talk about that. Let me just grab the script here. Oh, the walking blog. Yeah, okay. I wanted to update you guys on that. Yeah, that is definitely something I want to talk about. Because I'm ready now to post my walking blog update. And so if you go to lifeofparkinsons.ca, one of my posts about a year ago is the walking blog that I started. And since there's some people here, I'll give you guys the sneak peek update. So the project was to see if I could increase GDNF levels in my brain. And that GDNF is glial cell-derived neurotrophic factor. Because when we get Parkinson's disease, dopamine is not the only neurotransmitter that we lose. We lose quite a few other ones as well. And it's like BDNF, CDNF, GDNF. I believe there's a few more in there. And one thing that you can raise from not aerobic exercise, not like doing Jane Fonda or can't remember the name of that dance, but not like from aerobic exercise, but anaerobic exercise. It's when you're walking with your friend and you're both kind of struggling to talk, but you can still talk. So it's like a good medium pace instead of all out. And if you're going to hold that pace for at least 30 minutes, that's approximately when the GDNF production kicks in. So if you can hold it for nearly an hour or like 45 minutes, you'll get some good exercise benefit. And that's what they kind of call it. And it lasts for a good 3-4 days, I seem to find. But when you haven't done enough of it for like 2 or 3 months, I mean, the bottom just opens up and you just like start tumbling down this set of stairs, and it's really hard to climb your way back out. And that's what I'm doing. And today I walked about 5 kilometers, so I got some good benefit. But I'll have to see how my right knee feels in the morning. Right now it feels tender, but okay. And I'm wearing a knee brace. So yeah, I've discovered through my walking journey that yes, you can reverse a lot of your Parkinson's symptoms and you can get off the medication. Because I went from like 2,400 down to like 1,750. So I almost reduced my medication by like almost, yeah, so I reduced it by about approximately 650 milligrams a day. And I felt really good. I felt really good. Ditching all that medication, it felt so much, I could think so much clearer. I slept better. Everything was better. Yeah, so I'll be posting that update soon. And it's if you can do that sort of exercise, like I know everybody can't. Everybody can't get out there and walk that much, but there's other things we can do: swimming, elliptical trainer, riding a stationary bike. All those things are not as fun. I don't enjoy them that much, but we all can do something, even forced exercise. If you get like a forced exercise machine and put it on, gentle mode. And if you're not sure about any of these things, talk to your doctor, of course. But these are just things I've looked at and different options that I found, and I really do think there's some merit in them. So yeah, I really feel that the GDNF Fast Walking Project is really worthwhile, and I'm hoping to get back on it again. I'm just not going to track my results anymore. I started the vitamin B1 high dose thiamine therapy August the 1st, so that's the new thing I'm journaling. But the walking project is really, really worth it if you can do it. It takes a lot of commitment, like getting out there every second day and walking for an hour, like flat out. Like not like an Olympic fast walker, but at your top pace for like an hour is tough. It is tough. And you got to make sure you're replacing your walking shoes or your walking boots on a regular basis, and make sure you're getting the right amount of calories and everything. Okay, yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to talk about is dyskinesia. Like taking care of ourselves during a dyskinesia attack, which I've kind of experienced tonight. It's been like almost 5.5 hours straight of dyskinesia, and it just won't stop, and I don't know why. I've done everything that I normally do to make it stop, and tonight it just won't. So I think tonight is grief. And yeah, I haven't seen my mom yet since my stepfather died, and I think that's really gotten to me. And we're going to go see her on Wednesday, and I'm really looking forward to it. I've really missed her. It's just, I just wanted to give her a big hug since he died, and I haven't been able to. And it's really hard. Really hard to give up driving. When my mom's husband dies, I get really angry at Parkinson's disease because I can't get in my car and drive out and see my mom. And that just burns. It really burns. I can't help her through this time. Like I can't go over there and do chores and do dishes and just hang out for the day and just be there to comfort her. that really, it really burns. You know, Parkinson's takes so much of us, so much from us sometimes, and not. Yeah, my sisters are able to go and be with her and stuff, and I'm really grateful for them because they're doing the stuff I can't, but just not being able to do it, it really hurts. It really hurts. She's done so much for me over the years, and I just want to give something back, and you can't. Yeah, it hurts. I don't know how else to put it. Okay, what was I talking about? Grief. Yes, I've been griefed out tonight. I think that's why I'm awake and having problems sleeping. It's just the grief of the whole situation. It's not just losing my stepfather. It's not being able to drive, not being able to help in ways that I would want to. Yeah. So that's the hard part. That is the hard part of this disease. And if I go over there all upset, I'm going to be off the whole time, and I don't want to do that either. So I don't want to show up there and be like a burden and not be able to get off the couch because I'm just going to say griefed out. So it's probably better I haven't gone for everybody's sake, but doing that as well, taking yourself out of the equation, taking yourself out of the family because of your chronic illness. I know it's natural to do. I know many people do it, and I'm doing it right now, but I shouldn't be. But it's true. If I went over there and I wasn't calm enough, because like situational anxiety affects me quite a bit. So if there's if I'm in a room and the room is unhappy because my stepfather died, I'm gonna feel everyone's grief and just drink it all in, and then I'll go off, and then I won't even be able to walk. If I have to go to the bathroom, I'll have to crawl, and I think that'll be upsetting for everyone to watch that. So we're gonna go on Wednesday, and hopefully on Wednesday I'm settled down. I'll take an extra antidepressant, and I'll bring some anxiety meds with me just to help, so that I'm not such. I don't want to upset everybody. So yeah, with Parkinson's and chronic illness, it's just not. You just don't hop in your car and go somewhere and whenever you want to, because it's just not going to work out. Yeah. Tough things to deal with. Okay, I'm just spinning my mind through what else has been going on the channel. Yeah, I've talked about Turn2. Yeah, I'm going to have the owners of Soma Energetics on here soon. I'm sure you all remember the tuning fork thing where I'll just grab my tuning forks. One sec. Be right back. They're just over here. So how I normally stop my dyskinesia, but it just hasn't been working tonight, is this is a weighted tuning fork, 128 hertz, and it stops the dyskinesia. And I've probably used this about 50 to 100 times this evening, but when the tuning fork wears off again, the dyskinesia just comes back on. Okay, the dyskinesia is finally stopping, actually. Okay, it's 1 a.m. It's been going since about 7 p.m. So that's like 5 hours straight. 7 till, no, 6, oh my goodness, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, no, 6 hours, approximately 6 hours since the dyskinesia started. And now it's stopping. So if I hit the tuning fork again, it stops the dyskinesia. Yeah, so the owners of this company who sponsored the channel and sent me the tuning forks to try, which led to the viral video on TikTok that's got like 6.1 million views. I'm going to have them on for an interview soon. And they're a nice family. It's a nice family-run business. Their kids are lovely. A great couple. And I'm excited to have them on Life with Parkinson's. It just hasn't worked out. We keep reconnecting and connecting, but eventually, once it's meant to be, it'll all sort itself out. So, yeah, and I'm really happy this is working now. It's been a long haul. Oh my goodness. Sometimes Parkinson's, I just want to slam it against the wall, and I can't. I used to say to my wife, I'd be like, I'm going to bang my head against the wall over and over and over again until I feel better. And that's how I'm going to deal with my Parkinson's disease. Yeah. Yeah, I'm very grateful that this is finally working. Because it worked the whole time. It was just like when I would use the fork, it would come right back. And this is the first time since like 7 p.m. where it's not coming back as intense. Every time I use the fork now, it gets a little bit better. Yeah. And these tuning forks were developed like over 300 years ago. And someone figured out that they have another use. And what frequency they're at is extremely important. Now, I haven't made the long video that I've promised with the tuning forks because I haven't really had a lot of feedback from people on how well they're working. So I've been telling everybody that this one here is 128 hertz, and it's what stops my dyskinesia, and it does. It works every time. It's just that it's the dyskinesia outlasts the fork. So the fork basically covers it up, same as the speaker. It covers up the dyskinesia, but it keeps going in the background. So it's like a temporary solution, and I'm really grateful for it to have like a couple hours where I don't have dyskinesia. In this 6 or 7 hour attack has been really, really nice. But yeah, it comes back until it goes away. And I haven't had bad dyskinesia like this for, gosh, a long time. A long time. Okay, and the other thing I'm going to try is these new headphones now that are bone conduction speakers, similar to the one I used for the dyskinesia. Okay, we're going to go over an hour because now I want to go get the speaker and show you the speaker. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go get it. And then I'll talk about these. So if you haven't seen the short video, that's okay. I'll show you here what's going on. So this is a bone conduction speaker that I bought off Amazon for, it was like 35 Canadian. And it can retransmit whatever frequency you want. So it's just the frequency of vibration. Is it a high frequency or a low frequency? And 128 hertz is kind of at the lower end of things. But I'm just going to make sure. Okay, I'm going to turn my Bluetooth back on. Connect the speaker. There we go. So on the short video, you just see me putting it under my shirt and putting it on my sternum bone like this. And it stops the dyskinesia every time. Okay. I'm just going to open the audio file on my phone. So I'm playing the audio file on my phone, Bluetooth speaker. I think everybody understands that. There we go. Turn up on that. Okay, so here's the bone speaker, and it will stop the dyskinesia flat in its tracks. And you're probably wondering, Dave, why don't you wear this the whole time? I can feel it now happening. It's because I can't. It overstimulates. The maximum I can seem to tolerate it for a day is 1 hour. And I found that out because, well, okay, I blacked out. Okay, my son-in-law and my daughter and my wife were all sitting in the living room, and I'm having a bit of dyskinesia. So I put the speaker on, and I'd been using it quite a bit that day. And when you don't make good contact with it on your chest, and it's like off, on, off, on, off, on, it sends a lot of bad overstimulation back to your brain. So I had so much overstimulation, and I'd used it for like 2 hours that day. I blacked out on the couch, and everybody's freaking out. Like, Daddy, are you okay? And my wife is like, Dave, Steve. And so I'm like, if you buy the bone speaker, be aware there is the chance for overstimulation, and you could black out if you use it too much. So I'm not recommending this to everybody just because of that. I don't want to be responsible for someone blacking out in a car ride or something, you know? So yeah, it's not a recommendation, it's a caution. The tuning forks get my full endorsement. I feel that they're safe, they're simple, there's no tech support, there's no batteries, there's no recharging, there's no plastic parts except the hockey puck. But you can drop this, drive over your car with it, and, you know, and it'll probably still work. So I would say the tuning forks are a better value for your money, safer, until there's a product that comes out, like a proper medical product that comes out for the speaker. I feel the tuning forks are better. I don't want people getting hurt. Okay, so what else we have is, I just got these yesterday, and someone sent them to me as a gift, and I'm really grateful for that. Is these are a new style of headphones. They're bone conduction headphones. And it will stop the dyskinesia too, but I don't think it works as well. And these are really weird to wear. Like when you put them on for the first time, you can still hear all the noise in the room, but when you're listening to it, it's like you hear the sound inside your head. It's a really weird experience. It's really strange. Okay, I'm just going to fire this up. Oh, it's still playing through the speaker. Okay, so I gotta go back, switch the Bluetooth over. Come on. There we go. There we go. Connected. Okay, back to File Manager. Back to... There we go. Okay, it's obviously you can't hear it because it's playing in my head. It's really strange. Okay, I wasn't having this good of result earlier, and I don't know why that is. Probably because like Bird Kiwi was screaming at me the same time I was doing this. I was wearing these, so it was really, really loud. But yeah, these headphones seem to be working. Like I don't feel the vibration, but I hear the sound of the frequency inside my head. So they conduct through, I think it's through your cochlear, not sure what the best pronunciation is, cochlear bone in your ear. Not sure if I'm saying that right. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to try a different frequency and maybe like go down to 127 or go up to 129, something like that. Because 120 to 130 is kind of like the neuromodulation range, so I can try anywhere from 120 to 130. And I think I'll have to do that for the headphones because they don't seem to work as well and are as effective as the tuning fork and the bone conduction speaker. Yeah, and you can't. These are, the way these sit on the back of your neck. They're not as comfortable to wear if you're lying down because this part here. I need my glasses on. Because this part here, there you go, interferes with your pillow and stuff. So if you're trying to lay down and listen to something with these on, it's really uncomfortable. I think these were more meant for like active people, maybe going out on a jog or something. And I think these would be really safe going on at a jog because you can still hear all the traffic, but whatever you're playing through them is inside your head. It's all in your head. Okay, I'm going to turn these off. There it is. Okay, that is off. Okay, everybody, I am going to get going here. Thank you for tuning into this live broadcast. I think I might do more regular broadcasts on YouTube. Thank you for stopping in and supporting me. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good night. I'm hoping to get some videos out soon. Desperately hope to get some videos out soon. I've really missed publishing, but I've got a big list to get through, and that is always a good thing. So unless you have a question or a comment, which I don't mind hanging around for a few more minutes, if you have a question or a comment, because, is it really going to make much difference at this point if I go to bed at 1:20 or 1:30? Probably not. So if you've got a question or a comment, fire away. Now is your chance. I'll play the Jeopardy music. Do 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 do. Okay, now are comments coming through? Have people made them and I haven't answered? I'm going to make a comment. I just want to make sure this works because it's possible you guys have been commenting and I haven't picked up on them at all. I haven't used this live interface on YouTube for probably a year or two. I'm thinking now the channel's big enough to do it once in a while. Just find a time of the day that seems to work for the majority of the population. Okay, hello. Dave here. There we go, that works, okay. Time to go to sleep. I'll say happy face. I can finally sleep. I'm finally allowed to go to sleep. Oh, I'm so excited. This guy looks sleepy. Okay, guys. You guys have a good night. And since there's no questions, I'm going to head off to bed. But thank you for watching and supporting Life with Parkinson's. I really appreciate it. Yeah, and I think I'll come back on another time soon as well. I look forward to connecting with you then. Bye. Okay, how do I end the live stream? Oh, there it is.